Hey, Ace on Knives. My name's Rich with AOK Knives. Alright, so this is going to be part 2 video. The first video was me working on the Civivi Hadros. I was making more of a access, little curve, onto the scales and the liner to better access the lock. That was a huge problem with my first Civivi. If you didn't watch that review, you might want to check it out. And there's other reviews out there of the Civivi Hadros that go that direction. Just no bueno. Bad juju on that. So I've got the video of the tools I used and how quick the process was. It was super quick, super easy. Just when you go taking your folding knives apart, be very thorough about what went where and how it went there. And if parts fall out, you know, you gotta have a little bit of mechanical experience to look at the parts and say, yeah, that needs to go there. That's why that was sitting there and you didn't know. That's the worst. You know, you put something back together and you got 2-3 bolts or screws left over and you're like, what the hell? And then you wonder why it never works good again. So at least try to put it back together the same way it was. Some of the tools I used some KPL oil, some Loctite, a Sharpie, rounded files, both the smooth kind and the more coarse files. But the end result has been great. So here's the knife now. Let's get a good close view. This area right here could look a little bit prettier, but I'm okay with that. So now, see how you can see the jibbing on the lock? You could not see that if I held this knife before. All you could see was my micarta. Now you can see that. Now you have access. Now, also, look, see that? There was no extra effort involved. Just a little bit of filing, a little bit of sanding. I used 600 grit sandpaper. Just curved the sandpaper a little bit and nicely went through there. So now it's super smooth, just as smooth as any other part of on the micarta. And it drops now. It didn't drop before. It was tough to open. Now when I was putting it back together, it's got the bearings in it, right? So I got those nice and oiled up, and they're really nice because as I was putting it back together, I've dropped a couple drops of oil here and there, making sure it's nice and lubed up in that pivot access. So now I have very good access to this lock. This knife now has a drop. It didn't have a drop before. You know, the detent was catching at the top, and it's not catching at the top now. Because what I also did was I took that liner lock, you'll see in that video, and I kind of fudged it a little bit back. So the lock up now, I'm not happy with the lock up as maybe, well, I'm going to say I am happy with it. It's not bad. It went back to center. I didn't have to do any. I even got this little pivot screw, the right tightness, coming back right out of the gate. I got lucky, I think. But for the most part, this knife now drops. It opens much easier. I was having trouble opening it even. But like, boom, I'm on that lock. Real easy. I'm now very excited about my first Civivi. I'm really excited too because now when I pull it out and I'm talking to my friends and whoever, I'm going to tell them the story that, hey, this knife was very depressing at the beginning. I was very depressed about it. And I actually upgraded my own folding knife. And I'm not an engineer. I joke about it. I mean, I've got a degree in electronic engineering, but that was from the 90s. So that was back before they even had any of the technology they have now. So I might as well that doesn't even matter anymore. But I loved the blade. The blade's still there, obviously. Beautiful hollow grind on this Warncliffe. And then I'm going to just say, Civivi's back on my list. I'm going to get the Sikoki, and I'm going to get the, some people call it the Chevalier. I want to get the Damascus blade Chevalier. Civivi Chevalier. I'm gonna call it Chevalier because that sounds fancy. I feel fancy. I feel like a French guy. You know, I carry the Civivi. Oui, oui. I carry the Civivi Chevalier. Yes, that's my best French accent. It's the best I can do. I think I'm getting it good right now. I might end this review with my French on English review of the Civivi Hadros. Yes. Oui, oui. My name is Richer is un. I think that was more German right there. I gave it the un. Is un nice. Yeah, my name is Richer is on nice. Yeah, I'm really slaughtering all these accents. I don't know what's going to be next. It might be my hit. Yeah, that's my samurai right there, man. Knife. Good. Yes. Civivi Hadros. If you buy one, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to do work. I got one. Man, I just said it too, dude. Listen, guys. Big Black. I wish I had his full name because I want to say it's Chris. Oh, man. Love that guy, and he's gone. Rest in peace, Big Black. Do work, baby. Do work. I love that guy. Rob Dyrdek's sidekick, buddy. Big Black was his bodyguard, and they started their TV shows and stuff, and he was just my favorite. Big Black was my favorite. I love that guy. All right, you're going to really enjoy this Hadros now that you did that, because now you got your Civivi. It might be your first Civivi like mine. You've got it now. You like the blade. You like everything about it. It's a Civivi. You got to like Civivi. I was really upset. I'm back on track. But now, when you're out and you're at the restaurant or you're in the shop and somebody's like, "Hey, that's a nice knife." Yeah, it's my Civivi Hadros. It came to me and I didn't like it. So you know what I did? I re-engineered this knife, and now it's a work of art. Look at that. I think it looks really good. I ought to get into that business. You know, if I had the right tools, Civivi'd probably want to hire me. All right, guys. That's it. I just made a $45 knife that I was ready to throw away. I was thinking about really doing some funky stuff to this thing, but now I'm not. Now it feels like a factory, 100% good knife. I'm really, really stoked about this. So if you got any questions, any other tools I might have used, any questions on, if you're thinking about doing that, hit me up. Do the thumbs up, subscribe, follow me, watch my videos. You're going to learn stuff. You're going to learn how to be awesome. You're going to learn how to be a gentleman. And you might even learn. See, that's what it did before. You might even learn a knife fight. All right, guys. Deuces.